Suddenly, continuing the war becomes the most logical path for those in charge, even if the cost is carried by everyone else.
These are the facts, and they are. Where should a red line be drawn? A red line should be drawn right here, before Iran completes the second stage of nuclear enrichment necessary to make a bomb.
For Israel, this wasn't just strategy, it was survival. Then Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was ready to strike. Plans were prepared. Military options were on the table, but at the last moment, the operation was stopped. Several senior figures stepped in, leaders from intelligence and the military. Among them was former Mayor Dugin. They weren't avoiding conflict out of fear. They understood something deeper. Once a war like this begins, you don't control how it ends. For years, these figures held the line. They delayed and what we are witnessing today. But time passed. These voices gradually disappeared, retired, replaced, or gone. And with them, the restraint weakened. At the same time, Netanyahu faced increasingly internal pressure, political challenges, legal risks, and a divided public. So the calculation changed, because sometimes war is not only about external threats, it becomes tied to internal survival. If peace is the goal, peace can always be negotiated. But if staying in power is the goal, then conflict becomes useful. War can unify a nation. It can delay accountability. It can redirect attention. And suddenly, continuing the war becomes the most logical path for those in charge, even if the cost is carried by everyone else. So where does this leave us? You and I, we are not sitting in those decision rooms, but we are living with the consequences. Higher costs, more uncertainty, a world that feels a little less stable. And maybe the deeper question is this: in a world where power shapes decisions, where do we find our own anchor? Because history is not only written by leaders, it is carried by ordinary people like us.